Ever felt like you are breaking while the world just keeps spinning? That silent internal fracture while the traffic outside still hums, the emails still arrive, and everyone else seems to be following a script you never received. It's a profound kind of loneliness, a quiet agony that feels uniquely yours. But what if I told you that pain isn't the enemy? What if that feeling of breaking isn't a sign that you are malfunctioning, but a signal that you are profoundly alive? In the next few minutes, we are not going to fix life. We are going to understand it, and that changes everything. We are conditioned to see pain as a problem to be solved. A cut needs a bandage, a headache needs a pill, and an emotional wound needs to be hidden, ignored, or medicated away. We treat our own suffering like a software glitch, an irritating error in our code that needs to be patched until we are running smoothly again. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding of what means to be human. What if pain isn't a glitch at all? What if it is a core feature of the operating system? The greatest thinkers across history certainly believed so. The Stoics of ancient Rome didn't pray for a life without hardship. They practiced the art of enduring it with unwavering grace. The entire philosophy of Buddhism is built upon the first noble truth, that to live is to experience suffering, or dukkha. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, in a line that echoes through the ages, wrote, "To live is to suffer, to survive it is to find some meaning in the suffering." These minds weren't pessimistic. They were profoundly realistic. They understood that pain is a messenger. It is the universe's way of tapping you on the shoulder and saying, "Pay attention. Something here requires your focus. Something needs to be learned. Something needs to change. Or perhaps something needs to be grieved and let go." Physical pain is an obvious signal. It tells you to take your hand off the hot stove. Emotional pain functions the exact same way. It tells you a personal value has been violated, a boundary has been crossed, a dream has run its course, or a love has been lost. It is the raw, uncomfortable, and yet essential engine of our growth. There is a powerful metaphor for this. Just like fire forges steel, hammering it and heating it until it becomes a stronger, more resilient and more useful form, pain refines the self. It is a purifying force that burns away the trivial, the inauthentic, and the superficial. It leaves behind the unshakable core of who you truly are. I remember when a friend of mine told me he was fired from a job and thought it had defined his entire identity. The failure felt absolute, a public branding of inadequacy that he was sure everyone could see. Many of us lived or live something like that, right? For weeks the pain was a dull, constant ache in chest, a fog of shame that clouded every waking moment. But in that quiet, empty space, where this ambition and busy work used to be, a simple question started to grow, whispering at first, then demanding an answer. Did he even want that life? The pain, as agonizing as it was, forced a complete audit of his soul. It made him confront the fact that he was chasing a definition of success that was not his own, a script written by society. The pain didn't break him, it broke the illusion he was living inside. It's true that life hurts sometimes, but often that very heart is the chisel that carves us into who we were meant to become. If pain is such a natural and vital signal, why is our first instinct always to run from it? Because our brains are ancient machines wired for comfort and survival. Pain, emotional or physical, registers as a threat, so in response we develop sophisticated, often unconscious ways to avoid it. And the modern world makes this easier. The first and most common form of avoidance is distraction. The endless scroll, the binge watch, the never-ending stream of news and noise. We tell ourselves we are relaxing, but really we are numbing. We are drawing out the quiet, uncomfortable messages rising from within. The second trap is perfectionism. We say, I'll start when I feel 100% ready, or I'll speak when I know the perfect thing to say. But perfectionism is fear of judgment, fear of failure. So instead of risking the pain of action, we accept the slow, constant ache of stagnation. The third, and perhaps most damaging, is denial. The I am fine we mutter while quietly unraveling. The smile we wear when we feel empty inside. The insistence that a toxic relationship is just a rough patch. But suppressing pain doesn't erase it. It buries it. Like forcing a beach ball underwater, it takes immense energy. You can hold it down for a while, but the moment your grip slips, it erupts harder, faster, more violently. That's burnout. That's the anxiety attack that seems to come from nowhere. It's the uprising of all the pain you try to ignore. The answer isn't to build higher walls, it is to disarm the threat. You're not weak for feeling, you are human. The real weakness is in the endless, exhausting effort of running. If avoidance amplifies pain, what is the alternative? Are we supposed to just surrender to it and let it crush us? Not at all. The alternative is powerful, active, and deeply courageous. Radical acceptance. Not resignation, not defeat. Acceptance, as taught in mindfulness and therapies like ACT, means seeing reality without resistance. As Carl Gustav Jung said, what you resist persists. The more we fight a feeling, the more power we give it. Our resistance becomes its fuel. So instead of trying to control everything, our image, our career, others' opinions, the future, what if we surrendered? Not in weakness, but in wisdom. Trying to control life is like grabbing at wind during a storm. It is futile. Surrender is letting go of the rope, not giving up, but realizing you can't stop the storm. You can, however, learn to sail through it. That's where true strength and freedom are found. So, how do we begin to surrender? Start with a simple 3-step internal process. First, feel. When painful emotions rise, sadness, anger, fear, don't run or distract yourself. Pause. Let yourself feel it physically. It is a tight chest, a burning face, a knot in your stomach. Just notice the sensation without attaching a story. Second, name. Label the emotion. This is grief. This is anxiety. This is disappointment. That small act creates a separation between you and the feeling. You are not your pain. You are the one experiencing it. In that space, freedom begins. Third, let be. You don't have to like it. Just let it exist. Not forever, just long enough for it to move through you. Like an uninvited guest, you acknowledge it, but you don't need to serve it tea. Allow it and trust it will pass. Control exhausts. Surrender clarifies. Much of our suffering does not come from what has happened, but from what we fear might happen. We live in a constant low-grade anxiety about the unknown. We want a clear map for a landscape that's always shifting. So we cling to jobs, relationships, beliefs, simply because they are familiar. The fog ahead feels threatening, so we stay on a broken road. But what if the fog isn't danger? What if it is an invitation to trust? The more we chase certainty, the more rigid our lives become. We build walls that become our prison. We overplan, overthink, try to script every moment until life itself becomes something to be feared. But uncertainty is where freedom lives. That's where growth and transformation happen. That's where you become someone you haven't imagined yet. Yes, this touches our deepest anxieties: loss, change, mortality. We know on some level that everyone we love will someday be gone, that our own time is limited. This is the quiet ache of being human. Alan Watts once said, "Clinging to life is like trying to grab water. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away. But open your hand and you can experience it." The goal isn't to defeat uncertainty, it is to build a new relationship with it, to find peace in the not knowing. Rumi wrote, "Live life as if everything is rigged in your favor." That's not blind optimism, it is radical trust. Trust that even in chaos you are still moving in the right direction. Resilience doesn't come from certainty. It comes from knowing you can handle whatever comes. If you are hurting right now, sitting in your car, walking, lying in a bed after a long day, this is for you. You are not alone. The details of your pain are uniquely yours, but the ache, the confusion, the sense of being broken, that's one of the most universal human experiences there is. It is the invisible thread connecting us all. Marcus Aurelius felt it. Frida Kahlo painted it. Musicians have sung it for centuries, turning private heartbreak into something that makes others feel seen. Your pain doesn't isolate you, it initiates you. You have joined the ancient tribe of humanity. When you ache, you feel what a medieval farmer felt watching crops fail, or what a Renaissance poet felt after unrequited love. The times change, the human heart does not. We are all, in our own way, just walking each other home, and in this small digital space, we can do that together. Drop a heart in the comments if this resonates, or share a story of a pain that changed you for the better. You never know who needs that signal of connection. Life hurts sometimes. It is messy, unpredictable, and it will break you open. There is no hack, no secret formula that prevents that. But your pain isn't the end. It is a turning point, a purification by fire. The beginning of something deeper, more honest, more real. As Rumi said, the wound is the place where the light enters you. So the next time you feel like you are breaking while the world keeps spinning, remember, you are not breaking down. You are breaking open. If this helped even a little, consider sharing it with someone who needs it. You never know who might be fighting their own silent battle. Want more content like that? Check out The Art of Letting Go. If you love deep conversation that make you think and feel, subscribe and be part of this community. We are in this together.